TikTok should be banned. No, I'm just kidding. TikTok shouldn't be banned, but the use of the word ban in every single social media news article and post is driving me crazy because it's technically not a ban. Congress wants ByteDance to divest TikTok, its assets, its holdings, 100% of it, to a US company, to a US owner. For a lot of people who have not been following what China has been doing in terms of stealing intellectual property from the United States, particularly from universities and tech companies, to them having flat out bans on US social media companies like Facebook, YouTube. It just frustrates me so much that there's all of this dishonest communication and almost grief, particularly from TikTokers themselves. A lot of these TikTokers will spend hours upon hours of their day on TikTok and not care at all what the rest of the world is doing, what Congress is doing. But once they feel like Congress is maybe encroaching a little bit on serotonin high, like it's just they freak out, and then they go and they start making all these stupid ignorant posts about how TikTok needs to stay and how the US is overreaching and how this is a violation of their First Amendment right for assembly and free speech. Fuck off. That is not true. Your right to speak is not tied to any platform, specifically because, get this, wait for it, TikTok is a private company. TikTok is a private company. It can do whatever the fuck it wants. And one of the things that it actually does in terms of doing whatever the fuck it wants is it collects user data. And yes, there has not been concrete evidence that the Chinese government has been infiltrating ByteDance and forcing them to give over information. That said, in Chinese law, the Communist Party is allowed to force a Chinese company to do whatever the fuck it wants in order for it to still remain optional and legitimate. That argument just goes throughout the door. Like, I don't fucking... Like, this is literally a national security issue. Like, a lot of the Democrats and the Republicans, though, are coming at it at a pure, like... They're coming at it... Okay. We're painting with broad brushes here, right? Broad strokes. The Republicans don't like TikTok because progressive young people generally, Americans generally are actually very progressive, and TikTok has been an avenue for that. And a lot of people have companies that they use, that they promote on TikTok. I'm sympathetic to those people, but forcing ByteDance to sell TikTok to an American company does not equal a fucking ban. And you guys need to get it out of your head. I know the United States is dragging its feet on having, proper, robust, regulation on social media. I get that. The United States Congress needs to do way more. But this is not tied solely to that. This is a single issue about how the Chinese have a long and recorded history of stealing intellectual property, manipulating information from the United States, and we need to do whatever we can to protect that. Now, I'm American. We're American here, right? The United States does this to other countries. So I'm not gonna say that we don't do it to other countries. We do it to other countries. However, that's just how things work, and cyber warfare, intellectual property stealing, data collection. Guys, data is more valuable than oil. I don't think people fully comprehend that. Data is more valuable than the thing that made this shirt, than the thing that powers this house, than the things that fuel our cities to run and grow. I just wish that the people who are now having this outcry about a potential ban on TikTok, which it's not going to be a ban. And if it's going to be a ban, I'll come back right here and apologize. But it's not going to be a ban. I study media. I've been studying media all my life. I studied media and communications. I know how tech companies manipulate people, and this is really disgusting, especially with TikTok doing that massive nationwide outcall to bombard US senators and representatives to not ban TikTok by by having all their constituents and users doing that. And this is a Chinese company telling American people, fight the American government so we can keep our propaganda tool and we can keep on extracting information from you. Like, no, guys, like, you need, okay, the good news is 50% of the 170 million active daily users on TikTok understand the national security issue. So it's actually not that bad. Like, it's a bit polarizing, obviously, but I believe a lot of Americans, a lot of people understand that TikTok, as it is right now, as it's being run right now, is not sustainable for the security and the interests of the United States, and it needs to change hands. I am not someone who wants social media to be banned, any type of form to be banned. Well, maybe 4chan, but you know, that's gonna come up every time. So, But for all those freaking TikTokers out there who are fucking ignorant and know nothing of the sort, like, educate yourself, please. Like, don't just take my word for it. Don't just type in the comments down below some rude, mean ass shit, okay? Like, we are all Americans. We are living in the Western world. The hegemonic power of that world is the United States. And so I am biased. But I also am very acutely aware of how important it is that all data collected by Americans need to stay in the homeland. And that from there, we are able to, in the future, properly legislate practical, sensible regulations for social media. But we won't be able to do that if the most popular social media app in the entire country is owned by our adversary, who is doing the stuff that we do, that is doing the stuff that every other country does, which is espionage, and just trying to figure out how to get another leg up in the arms race. I need to remind you guys, the TikTok in China is not the same as the TikTok here. They have it heavily regulated, where it's only like a few things where you can, like, educational stuff, and teenagers only have a certain amount of time that they're allowed to be on it. Now, I'm against that. I think that's way too restrictive, you know? Do I believe TikTok adds to brain rot and that people's attention spans are shit? And do I feel like my personal relationships, friendships would be better off if TikTok was less addictive? Yes, that's how I feel, and that's what I know to be true. We are entering a really interesting time in society, and I think it is all of our civic duties to not only be informed and educate ourselves on the matter at hand, but to think rationally and reasonably, not to just freak out because we can't get our daily hit. Okay. Anyway, guys, that's it. I post new videos every single day. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
Peace.